this is Polly from Doll Bride. I feel like I'm showing you female dolls for the first time in a year. I really appreciate Jemba's Korea for giving me this opportunity to try a completely different type of dolls. Let me present you with Winky Dolls. They are 45cm BJDs, which are very popular among kids and kiddos in Korea. Precisely speaking, they're not exactly ball jointed dolls, but these days everybody calls them BJD, so I'll say they are BJD type. They were designed to be collectible and customizable, but also they are very affordable. What's more impressive to me is their fashion. It's very young and sophisticated. You can simply change their style by replacing their wigs, clothes, and most importantly, their eyes. Anyway, today I'm going to change this girl Carrie into Jennie from Blackpink because it reminded me of one of our legendary look at first sight. The red checker skirt, black jacket, and her long and straight hair. At first, it seemed like I would only need to do a makeup on her and make these dangly earrings. Let's see what's actually going to happen. The first step is removing the existing makeup. It's not made of resin resin, so I just used acetone. Then I found out these glossy coatings inside eye holes had never gone by acetone. So I switched it to acrylic remover and it kind of worked. I mean, it helped make them swollen and then peel off. I finished the surface by using wet abrasive sponge and then by spraying clear sealant. Now it's time for visualization. To bring the image out of your mind, simply put, sketch. I believe this stage is the most important one of the entire process. You will need references combined in one paper or whatever medium you prefer, screen, canvas, etc. Using color pencils, draw our eyes and eyebrows. Winky dolls originally look cute and kind-hearted. Let's just say they are puppy-like girls and cat-like ones in appearance. I know it's a Korean thing, but there's no other way for me to explain it. Anyway, original Winky dolls are more like puppy girls, whereas Jennie is the opposite, a cat-like girl. So I'm drawing the end of her eyebrows and eyelines upward and underlines upward as well, while the inner corners of her eyes go downward, which makes her eye shape even more slanted. Her eyes should be slanted but still big and wide open. I'll go with full lips on her. First, define the outline using a colored pencil and then fill the area with red pastel. And then add pastels twice with a clear sealant in between. It's just like doing eye makeup on a real person. Apply soft shades of different orange-brown. Bright one put first all over the eye holes and darker ones put later on smaller areas. I recommend using cotton swabs on small areas. They help apply colors to the full extent than brushes. Add a pink flush over her earlobes, deepen color of eyeshadow, and contour the corners of the bridge of nose, and brown pastel to nostrils as well. Now I'm gonna even more define the makeup using lacquer paint. I started with her lips by adding lip wrinkles. Don't forget to fill the waterlines with apricot color. I gotta hold my breath to fully concentrate when drawing eye lines. I omitted lower lashes on purpose to highlight upper eyelashes. Bruh, it seems like I shouldn't have painted eyebrows with lacquer. It only made them too dark, so I'm trying to make them lighter again with gray pastels. Okay then, I wanna make her a new pair of eyelashes because the original ones seem kind of long to me. I feel like short eyelashes with strong curls are likely to suit her image better. But for short ones, I only have these brown eyelashes from Glip, so I'll dye them, not with DYLON, but with black enamel this time. After painting both sides, I moved them on tweezers and let them dry overnight. Eyes are central to these BZD type dolls. Eyes complete them. The stock eyes are pretty already, but I want to make brown eyes with lighter color and smaller iris. It was my first time making eyes, and here are what I've done so far. The top batch is the earliest and the bottom batch is the latest. Can you see that I struggled in the beginning but slowly have improved over time? I started with a handy UV LED lamp. It surely worked, but I had to irradiate 12 minutes of resin, one side each. It was too long considering that I was making lots of failures and had to redo over and over again. That's why I bought all of these items. The key product is of course this UV LED lamp, a resin one saving my time up to 75%. A pair of sunglasses helps protect your eyes, and then clear resin is of course must have. These tiny bottles are resin pigments. You can use pastels as a pigment as well. Another must have is silicone molds, mixing bowls, eye mold. I bought this from eBay as a bundle of different sizes, and I found this number 75 or 50mm is just right for this doll. And here's a super tiny mold. You can get hemispheres in multiple sizes like these. I'll use 2 of these for pupils. I have 2 types of glitter, and the rest of them is not essential but very helpful. A stick with rounded tips, and it looks like a miniature spoon, but it's for spooning glitter or pigment. And tweezers to pick small parts just like this. Actually, a toothpick or a wooden stick can substitute all these 3. Pretty useful, isn't it? And you will also need cotton swabs, wet tissues, and a paper palette or a plastic sheet. Alright, I'm showing you how to step by step. First, you need to make eye bases, the white area. Pour resin in the silicone mixing bowl and add drops of a white pigment and stir. Seems a bit thin. Add a few more drops. This is enough, but I want natural colors, so I'll add just a little of yellow and magenta pigments. Shake the bottles fast until everything is well blended. Then, it's totally optional, but I prefer this way. Miniature spoonfuls of pearl glitter, not seen on camera, but I think glittery eye bases seem classy in person. After pouring the mixture into the mold, stir until bubbles are almost gone. Get them hardened by irradiating UV light. And this is when you need sunglasses. Can you see now why I said you need them? After 3 minutes, turn over the mold and leave it 2 more minutes on the light. And then, take hardened resin out and examine it for any cracks or failures. Looks everything is good in condition. Now put it below the lamp and leave for another minute until it completely gets hard. Now, I'm gonna fill the grooves, the iris areas. Rub a brown pastel with a cotton swab and spray the inner corners of eyes with it. Then rub powders of a dark brown pastel into the center for a gradation. Fill 1/3 of the grooves with clear resin and mix with gold glitter. Again, adding glitter is just my taste, it's optional. Irradiate for 2 minutes. Repeat the step once again. But before using the lamp, place black pupils in the middle of the iris. I made them beforehand with this hemisphere mold. Use the lamp for 4 minutes. Now fill them to top and add only a bit of glitter around the pupils and get them hardened for 4 minutes. From this part, it's going to be kind of a lot tricky. I'm going to build drums onto flat top. This high viscosity resin will help. Just like I did to the eyelids, it will be completed in 3 layers. Make sure the outlines stick to circle and the eyes are on flat surface. If the resin doesn't get to maintain its surface tension and begins to run down, wipe it out with a cotton swab before irradiating and then start it over. If you succeed, then voila! The norms are bending light and different layers of gold glitter get to shine brightly in depth. I'm pretty happy with this set of eyes. It is undeniable that hairstyle plays an important role in people's image. Same goes to dolls. This original hair is gorgeous already, but I want to dye it in ombre style. I did it previously to yarn hair, but I'm trying another way. That is, using DYLON multi-purpose dye. I picked 2 packets, coffee and black. First with coffee, I filled the bowl with hot water. Then I added some powders in it, starred, and... oops, I only had this baked salt in the kitchen. Anyway, I sprinkled with some salt and starred and gently soaked the wig in it, leaving it for about 3 minutes. And after several trials, I found out there was a manual hanging at the back of the packet. Holy crap, I was doing wrong. They say 1 packet for 500 ml of hot water over 6 Celsius degrees. 1 tablespoon of fine salt. Leave the desired object for about 20 minutes. Wear gloves to protect hands from staining. Wash 4 times in cold water. Okay, now I got it. The amount of dye was absolutely small. Gotta add more dye, more salt, and stir well. I'm hanging the wig so I can soak it just till the shoulder length, not the whole. To be honest, I was afraid it might not turn out in graduation but with ugly boundaries. But lucky for me, each strand of hair has absorbed the pigment to different degrees. It's not brown or coffee, but the color is so cool. I need to dye once again around the crown part. The water was cold, so I'm heating it. Drop all the remaining powders of coffee and black. More salt and stir all of them. Now carefully soak only the crown part of the wig for 20 minutes. After final washes and drying it, check it out. The gradation looks so natural. The color is gorgeous. I like it in everything. We are almost there. Let's complete our outfit. I'm going to make this skirt shorter like idol style and want to make these socks longer, but extending extra centimeters in doll's clothes isn't a reform anymore, so I'm making a new pair by making a pattern out of it. Ta-da! My new sock looks pretty, covering whole knee and the thigh connection. Make the other sock and trim 2 centimeters off the hem of the skirt. It was simple, but it's pretty effective. I recommend it. The reason why Lomi appears is that I'm going to borrow her blouse. But first of all, I got to detach it from the skirt because this is originally a one-piece dress. Okay then, I'm going to pick out all the threads along the waistline. It's not demanding at all, but just a little patience is needed. Now that it's separated, I'll take the hem of it. It's nicely done. Now I'm going to remove this big button and small ribbon and make her a brand new one. I'm trying to follow a video of YouTuber 조이의 조물조물, but I'm really not good at it, so don't laugh at me. I slowed down the video by 0.15 times. This clip now is just the normal speed at which I actually did. Anyhow, it worked. Pretty, isn't it? Now glue a flower-shaped bead at the tie and attach the entire ribbon to the blouse. I really love it. This blouse is so adorable. Compared to the original ribbon, this new one is big and flashy. This is an ear drill I bought from Dollmore. It's used to make holes in dolls' ears. So what I'm going to do now is making her earrings. Since it was my first time making an earring, again, I had to buy more new tools and materials. My place is stuffed with all kinds of tools and stuff already though. Well, I'm not going to use all of these, but probably this much. Anyway, after several practices, I got the hang of it and completed this pair of earrings. But then, oh my goodness, it's too long for Winky Dolls. How silly I am. Okay, now that I have to change the design, instead of the pink stone shaped like a water droplet, I'll let her use this heart-shaped crystal. I find the basic principle of making earrings is simple, but you know, being simple does not mean it's easy. It generally goes like this. Open a tiny hoop, hang any ornaments, and close the hoop. If there's anything that you can't hang as it is, for example like bees, then string it onto a tiny pin and make curls in both ends. In other cases, insert the part into a cap with a hoop. Sounds simple but not that easy, huh? Because everything here is too small. Okay, finally, let's put everything together and take a photo shoot of the Jennie doll.